Hello, Don in London. It's February the 14th, 2009, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. My video is all about living in recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. And I guess, Valentine's Day, more about behaviour than substance sometimes. But my substance of addiction was alcohol. My behaviour, always trying to be perfect and never so. And very giving and loving, I felt, all through my life, and probably have been the best way I could, understanding love as I did as each day ticked by. And I suppose we can be circumspect or just reflective on a day like this, where the world, or some of the world, is saying Valentine's Day, now what will the post bring me? And the answer for me probably is nothing, except maybe an electricity bill or a gas bill or something like that. And that's okay today. Odd really, and I think through my life, probably on Valentine's Day I've probably been more a single person than a person in a relationship, and that has a lot to do with me and how I live my life. And I guess, and I suspect, there was always fear and a gap in me, putting on a brave face, and ego so brittle, if you tried to break it, it would break very quickly, if you understood what would push my buttons. Loneliness, I suspect. So nobody wants to be on their own on Valentine's Day, I suspect, not by choice, or maybe we do. I'm lucky I've got a fellowship where I can go and share my experience, strength and hope of what is going on for me, and I can also listen to the experience, strength and hope of others and how they're getting along. So on days like this in the Western world, it seems that we can be driven mad by the desire to be in a relationship and loved. So what's most crucial to human beings is to love, be loved, and have something useful to do. And I'm not quite sure if that was Freud who said it, but it seems to have permeated into some of the books of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And my head's been all over the place. It's more to do with changing my regime, to do with type 1 diabetes and clinical depression, and trying to get the medication right, and get the insulin doses right, and also take account of other matters to do with blood work. So it's proving to be quite a strain. So I'm discontinuing some older types of medication connected with the diabetes and depression, with an intention to see if we can improve my overall situation. But what makes this possible, what makes this possible, is being in recovery one day at a time from addiction to substance and behaviour. So I can ask myself on a daily basis, how am I feeling, why, what may I do? So my feelings are up and down, sometimes very sharp, very on the edge of wherever the edge is in anybody's life. And I need to slow down, so these videos help me, and I share what the fellowship is doing for me. And at every fellowship meeting I go to of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, the preamble is stated at the beginning, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I guess those are my aims and intentions in doing this, but my videos are nothing to do with AA. I talk about AA a lot because it is a fellowship which helps me on a daily basis. There are no leaders, speakers for it. So my videos are my own, and it's my view, my outlook, not always I suppose, to the principles exactly, or the traditions of the programme, particularly to do with anonymity, which I see as the sanctuary to find our spiritual truth. So I guess maybe just slightly different in the way I see it, but it can be a fundamental change in behaviour. So I can talk about how AA helps me, but I can't talk about how it affects other people. That would be quite wrong in my understanding of what is right and what is open, honest and willing, and we need to make sure that sanctuary is safe to find the truth. So the principles, open, honest, willing, and the traditions quite rightly suggest recovery, service and unity, and that doesn't mean we have to toe the line. In Tradition 1 it says clearly that you cannot tell another AA person what to do, and the answer to that is, if you start telling people what to do, they start fighting back, and fellowship and unity and recovery then becomes challenged. What we need to do is respect the diversity of people within the fellowship, so they may grow along their own understanding of open, honest, willing, integrity, fair dealing, and understanding life is better without a drink. So sobriety is the key, and everything else follows around it. And I've had 1 or 2 emails about sponsorship, which I am very grateful for, and point out some very obvious truths. And I'm glad, because we all need other views to understand what is going on. Anyway, this is all about February, and there are 12 steps in the programme, action steps for individuals, and 12 months. So step 2, came to believe a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, is really the focus of February. Second step, second month. And I use these books, Daily Reflections and As Bill Sees It, mainly in these videos, and I also refer to the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, which I've been reading this morning, and it's always a good read for somebody like me who has got insomnia at the moment. So I've got things to do no matter what, and it's to really keep on focusing on being in the day and seeing how we're going. So in Daily Reflections it says here, expectations versus demands. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trust in God and clean house. And trusting in God for me is trusting in the truth. So for me, God is truth, love. God works through people. And I'm sure my understanding of God may broaden and deepen as time goes by. Dealing with expectations is a frequent topic of meetings. It isn't wrong to expect progress of myself, good things from life, or decent treatment from others. When I get into trouble, it is when my expectations become demands. I will fall short of what I wish to be, and situations will go in ways I do not like, because people will let me down sometimes. The only question is, what am I going to do about it? Wallow in self-pity or anger, retaliate and make a bad situation worse, or will I trust in God's power to bring blessings on the messes in which I find myself? And obviously for me, the message in God is to take the broader picture and understand where other people are coming from. Will I ask Him what I should be learning? Do I keep on doing things right, doing the right things I know how to do no matter what? Do I take time to share my faith and blessings with others? And I guess I do to an extent when I'm doing these videos. And it's not easy to follow this road of open, honest, willing, and taking account of other people's ideas. And on Valentine's Day we can become completely frustrated because other people or other individuals who we may love may not want to be so cooperative. Yeah, and why should they? That's absolutely right. And in As Bill Sees It, a fairly long reading again, it says here, troublemakers can be teachers. Few of us are any longer afraid of what any newcomer can do to our AA reputation or effectiveness. Those who slip, those who panhandle, those who scandalise, those with mental twists, those who rebel at the programme, those who trade on the AA reputation. All such persons seldom harm an AA group for long. Some of these have become our most respected and best loved. Some have remained to try our patience sober, nevertheless. Others have drifted away. We have begun to regard the troublesome ones not as menaces but rather as our teachers. They oblige us to cultivate patience, tolerance and humility, and I would say also acceptance. We finally see that they are only people sicker, or if I would suggest maybe more to do than the rest of us, that we who condemn them are the Pharisees whose false righteousness does our group the deepest spiritual damage. And when we judge others, then we are judging ourselves. We are reflections, if you like, and what we see and don't like in other people is often what we have done ourselves. So acceptance. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just simply one day.